Hi, good evening. I'm Wendy Carter. I'm Vice President of BSCAA, and I'm here to introduce our friend Jesse Pugh. I'm going to start with his education. Jesse received a bachelor's degree from Fordham University in psychology with a minor in education in 1974. He then went on to receive a master's degree from Bank Street, specializing in learning disabilities and neurologically impaired in 1976. I don't think they offer that anymore, do they? No. He later received a Master's of Public Administration from Baruch College of the New York City University in 2005. Jesse's teaching and professional life has encompassed working with diverse populations, and it is fascinating to learn and hear about all the different roles he's had. He started as an assistant teacher with 4s and 5s in Chinatown, then moved into being a classroom teacher with 4th through 6th graders in the public schools, then moved on to a 5th through high school placement in a Montessori-based special ed private school, was director of after-school programs at the Grand Street Settlement House on the Lower East Side, working with corporate tutoring initiatives. His final K through 12 experience was teacher assistant principal at the Robert Louis Stevenson School, a therapeutic junior high school and high school for school-phobic students. Fascinating. In 1982, he joined the City University of New York on a project with the New York Department of Ed to computerize New York City high schools, where he became its director. That collaboration lasted over 20 years and resulted in the model for integrating administrative and academic data for the development of pedagogical policy decisions. During this period, he also served on various chancellor task forces and initiatives. After that time, Jesse began working with teacher training programs as an adjunct instructor at Mercy College and at the College of New Rochelle, which morphed into mentoring first-year teachers, as well as teaching courses in educational policy and current issues in education. He began consulting with educational and nonprofit groups, giving parent and staff workshops on various topics, including parent and client outreach strategies and student counseling. Bank Street was such an important influence on his personal and professional life, which led him to his involvement with the alumni activities. After serving on the Alumni Association in various positions, he eventually served 3 terms as its president from 2007 to 2013. Really incredible, Jesse. Really, you were the backbone of BSCAA for all those years. You really did carry us through a lot of years there. Concurrent with his alumni leadership, Jesse was a founding member of the Pemberton Society, Bank Street's key diversity initiative, in which he remains an active participant. He currently serves as the Bank Street Alumni Advisory Board on the board and remains involved in furthering Bank Street's initiatives in relation to alumni collaboration. Jesse, you really are part of the Bank Street we know and love. And, you know, when I think of Bank Street, I think of some of my beloved professors. And in these current years, you come to mind too, Jesse. You really do. It's been incredible for me to have the privilege of working with you through these years. You are such a role model and such a giver of your time and pulling us together. You really embody the sense of Bank Street community, and I think we all love you for that. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you, Bank Street.
After Wendy's introduction, I don't think I should say anything because it can only go downhill. I don't know. But I do want to thank the BSCAA board and advisory group for selecting me to win this award. And they did it in spite of the fact that they know me. Okay, so that says an awful lot, okay? Because they know all of the dark sides of me as well as what they're saying tonight. I'd also like to thank my family and friends who have understood through the years that Bank Street is important to me. And a lot of canceled dinners and rearranged schedules, and they only moaned a little bit. They didn't really moan a lot. And I appreciate their support because they understand the work that Bank Street does is so important, and it's so important to me and in my life. I also want to thank all the other honorees who have allowed me to share their night with them by being one of them. People who I admired for many years and stand as role models. Not to take it away from anyone else, but especially Dr. Lou, who you're going to hear about later on. She was a phenomenal woman and a good friend. So, I start with a story. And it's a silly story, but I like it. A few days ago, my wife came to me, and she said, have you prepared your remarks for the awards? And I said, you know, I've been thinking, I've created like 50, 60 possible scenarios, and they were inspiring and encouraging and impressive, and, you know, I did fantastic. You should have heard some of those things. They were great. So my wife, being the sweetheart that she is, she, and I paraphrase this, told me, nobody wants to hear that junk. Okay. The junk part is what I'm paraphrasing. She said, you know, you just need to go and tell people how you feel and let them know how much Bank Street and the people you work with at Bank Street mean to you. And so I thought about it. I blew it off at first, I must say. But then I thought about it and said, yeah, maybe she's right. So I thank her for that advice. And you should thank her because otherwise this would be a lot more boring to talk. But I want to thank Bank Street because it's the kind of place that attracts people who shared my mission and my vision, which is to say, children are very important in our lives. And anything you can do to make their lives better and make the lives of those who work with them better is a worthwhile objective in life. And Bank Street, that's what they do. That's what they're about. And because that's what they're about, they've attracted people who are about that too. And so BSCAA, the Pemberton Society, has just chock full of people who have done things on their personal and their professional lives that are always geared towards making things better for children. And as a role model and a mentor and inspiration, my whole life has been geared towards trying to emulate what I've seen them do and the way they approach life. And so I owe them a great debt of gratitude. And with that, even though but I'm very proud of winning this award, I clearly understand that it is an award that I share with so many other people at Bank Street who have done so much and made so many sacrifices. So it's going to sit at my house, and I'm going to stick out my chest and tell everybody I won it. But you should know that deep inside, I do know that it's a shared award. So anybody wants to come by and see it and touch it, feel free. And thank you for coming out tonight. And I appreciate it, and that's the end of that.